Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tyra Omilade, here to share a word of inspiration to assist you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. I've been focused quite a bit on tricks of the ego, and I just will touch on that a little bit before I give wisdom for this week. I hope that you are having a very happy week, a week full of joy, and also just taking really good care of yourself. So, you know, it's really important for us to understand the truth of who and what we are. Know thyself. Know thyself is foundational to understanding what is your life purpose, to understanding why things are the way that they are, and if they aren't how you want them to be, how do you create a change? And so you have to know who you are. The purpose for all of this is self-realization, knowing the truth of who and what you are. And someone can tell you, oh, this is who you are. So for instance, I may say, you are divinity and a body who is just simply here to remember itself. But if you don't experience it and know it for yourself, then you know it can help sustain you somewhat. But at the end of the day, if you're wanting true change to occur in your life, you know, you have to know it for yourself. And understanding, just knowing who and what you are, is also understanding who and what the universe is. And it, you know, it helps you to develop a worldview, a perspective. And so I just encourage you to understand that knowing what your ego is and understanding how you have to position the ego properly to keep it from creating problems, tripping you up. Understanding all of that will begin to help you create the shift that you desire. The issue is, how persistent do you want to be in pursuing what, you know, the life that you desire, in pursuing operating from a true place of peace, walking as an enlightened being. And so you have to stick and stay. Every day you have to do the small, mundane, somewhat boring things that it takes to keep you on the straight and narrow path to your destiny, to your self-realization. The ego is going to do everything it can until you get it in its rightful place. It is going to do everything it can to stay in control, to keep you stuck in your stumble, just like I talked on the teleconference a week or two ago. And so you just have to do it. It's cliche from Nike, just do it. And at some point, though, the benefits will be seen, they will be felt, and you will begin to feel, at least this is my experience, I like the benefits so much that it gives me the motivation to keep on doing what it takes. It's very easy to stay where you are. It's easy to give up. I will say the payment is still a payment. I mean, it's payments. If you're not working on moving past this part of you that is wanting to keep you stuck, you will have payments. But as I see it, it doesn't take a lot of effort. It really doesn't. And what we want to do is to just go on ahead and do what it takes to move in a better direction, because not only are the payments higher, they feel better. when you get to the other side of it. Now, I will tell you everything that I'm saying to myself. I am talking about this right now because I am talking to myself. It does take getting up and doing something. You have to take action. Okay? Things are not just going to happen overnight, magically. They're not. There is a magic to the universe that we live in, but the majority of us, there are some people that really, they live in the flow, but that's a choice that they're making. That's a way of thinking and being that they make, a way of operating that they choose. Okay? And so, yes, all of us can be in that position, but the majority of us, especially if we haven't fully done that overhaul and gotten ourselves lined up with our true selves, we will be required to do some work to move past all of the egoic constructs in which we find ourselves. Okay? So I just encourage you to set up routines, to have goals for the small little things that you will do every day. And over time, those small things are going to add up to something big and something good. Actually, it doesn't matter. The small things add up one way or the other. So if you are wanting to go in a particular direction, then you have to do the small things that lead you in that direction. If we're not really thinking too much about it, all the small things that we want can potentially add up and land us in a position in which we do not like being. Okay? So I encourage you, especially when it comes to your spiritual practices, to make the small steps, to do your spiritual work day in and day out. The other thing we have to do is we have to value our lives. We have to step out of the storyline of the greater consciousness and begin to write our own stories. We cannot live according to the stories that others have bestowed upon us. And one of the energies that's speaking today is the energy of Shango through Obara. Whenever Shango Heru is speaking, you're being told, look at your stories. Which one are you living according to? Because that is how you are living. You are choosing to live either according to your own personal storyline that comes from within. And that's why we do our spiritual work, so that we can stay in touch with the highest wisdom within us, so that we can stay connected to the storyline of power, to the storyline of freedom, to the storyline of destiny. Or are we living according to the storyline of the world? And that is the thing that I am really working on with myself right now. And we have to look at all of the things that are happening are in fact specific to us. We are creating these realities because we have lessons to learn. And whatever's happening is designed to help you really get the lesson. If you have anything that's going on that is problematic, you really need to face it. That's one of the things I love about the Orisha Ogun Herakahuti. Ogun Herakahuti says, face that thing, get real, go into it fearlessly. So it's very important for you to understand that everything that's happening, everything that's unfolding is doing so to help you wake up to the divinity that you are. I know we say the divinity within me. No, that you are. This is divinity. Everything's divinity. You know? Okay, so, we have to know ourselves. And, with Shango Herakahuti speaking, it's talking about Shango Heru speaking, it's talking about what storyline are we living according to? Wake up. Do you even know what drama you are caught up in? You know, and there's so many levels sometimes to the drama. But you have to live consciously. You have to live aware. That was something else I talked about on the teleconference. Wake up. Be aware. And then anybody that is dragging you into their stuff, you can just jump right on out of it. You can give it back to them and tell them, oh no, I have my own stuff going on over here. I refuse. So we have to just really be aware that we are in the process of stepping out of the ego. As we do so, we begin to step into our power. And what we come here to do as a part of the self-realization process is to be creative. And so I just get wowed when I go to the oracle and the oracle lines up. When I say it lines up, it's the same energy, maybe a different name. So I asked what energy was governing us this week. It's the energy of Het Heru, Oshe. Both oracles, that's what spoke. Het Heru from Metu Neter, Oshe, the Odu. It's a wisdom text from the Meridien Ogun out of the Ifa tradition. And so what does Het Heru Oshun have to do with moving beyond our ego constructs that are very problematic in our lives? First and foremost, Oshun is saying, look, you've got to have fun in the process. If you see it, oh gosh, I have to do this and I have to do that, I don't feel like doing it, you know, that will probably not get you far. Though we may start there, at some point we should find such great joy in moving more in alignment with our true selves. We should just absolutely find joy in it. We find more joy in doing things that benefit us. Why do we do that which does not benefit us all the time? I look at myself some days and I'm like, why did I just do that? That's the exact opposite of what I said I want to do for myself. And so again, that's why we have our daily spiritual practices, because they remind us of what is most important. They help us to get rid of, and Uachet is speaking, this is the energy, it's all about psychic energy. And so we have to keep our energy clear, because we are picking up on everything and everyone. We have to be careful of what we're exposing ourselves to. But we have to keep ourselves energetically clear so that as we begin to, work on moving beyond our egoic constructs, we can keep that joy. We can keep that commitment to, I'm not going to say self-improvement. One of my teachers said, look, there's nothing to improve. You just have to wake up. That's what we're really trying to do. You are perfection. When you operate according to divine law, you are perfection. Okay? So what we're wanting to do is to wake up. And so we have to wake up to the Oshun, the Het Heru within us. We have to wake up to the creative faculty within us. If you feel like you lack, you don't have something, it is an illusion. That's why it's really all about understanding the truth. Everything is about understanding the truth. Once you understand the truth, then you know how to make things happen in your life. You know how to create what you want. When you create something you don't want, you'll say to yourself, oh, what was going on in my head that I created that? Because, no. Creating something new. Our consciousness, our beingness is essentially a canvas. And our thoughts, we're writing on the canvas. See, Oshun, that's Oshun within you. You're writing, you're creating on the canvas called you, your consciousness. And you are getting, you have to look at your life. And if you're getting what you don't want, then you have to ask yourself, what is inspiring this particular manifestation of myself? And perhaps I need to find a new pool of inspiration, because this is not what I want. Again, it goes back to you must take responsibility for everything in your life. Even if you feel like someone did something to you, at the end of the day, the more you begin to expand your consciousness and your awareness of the truth, you will say, really nothing's happening, because this physical reality is the least real reality. And so, whatever, they did that. Okay, well, I'm going to do something different. First and foremost, if I didn't like what they did, I'm writing them out of the script. And they'll be written out so well because I forgive them. I will forgive them so hard that when I see them, I won't even remember what happened. But guess what? More than likely, yeah, I'm just writing them out. I won't see them. And then you create a new experience. Isn't it neat when you decide to write a whole new script with someone who has been on your last nerve, who has done something wrong, and I put that in quotes to you, and you rewrite the script where they like flip on you and become like the nicest person, they become your advocate? That amazes me when I see it. I'm like, what? So, this is what Oshe is talking about this week, that we have to understand that we are creators, that we create our reality moment by moment by moment. She is speaking in E-Ray. She is speaking with saying the energy is open. And so that means, first and foremost, we should be creating good things in our lives. And how do we create? It's all about understanding that you are a vibration. You have to line yourself up vibrationally with that thing. And your imagination is key. You have to see it in your imagination. You have to live it. You have to wake up with it on your mind. If you think about what you don't want, it is going to manifest. This energy of Oshun is so powerful right now. And so we need to make sure that we are using it to create what we want, not what we don't want. But the way we create it is we have to line up vibrationally with it. We have to experience it over and over and over in our imagination. And so for the things, the bad habits that we have, the self-sabotage that we find ourselves in, it is all about going within, doing the work within first, and surrounding yourself with the energy of that which you are seeking to attract to you. Remember a caveat that I just want to put out for those who are looking for a love interest. You cannot create in someone else's reality. Okay? And perhaps the person you want is like they embody the energy of the ultimate, the one for you. Okay? So though you may feel like, oh, I really want this person, if that person doesn't want you, you are not going to attract that person to you. But you can use them as a template for attracting that person to you. If you feel sort of like it must be that one, I'm just being real with you. You might need to check yourself, okay? Because if that one does not want you, this is a problem. This is a problem. If it's got to be that one, then, and that one doesn't want you, and that's really who you want, then you should sit and be patient. Perhaps it will happen. But if you're feeling desperate and just bothered by it, to me, that is something else. It's not about that one. That's about something different, okay? Because ultimately, you, in your relationship with the divine within you, that's the ultimate relationship. Any other relationship is icing, okay? If you don't have your relationship with you right, guess what? You're going to have problems. I don't care how good your beloved is, you will have problems if you do not have a good relationship with yourself. If you don't love you, baby, guess what? That loved one, they're not going to do it for you. I don't care how hard they love you. You'll never feel it's enough if you don't love yourself. And you could attract somebody that reflects what you think about you. I don't love you. And they treat you in that way. And so That's a caveat there in general. And the other thing is, you have to get clear. This is what Shango, this is what Heru teaches. Look, you really need to understand what you want. Do you want it because the world says you want it, or do you want it because this is the will for your life is unfolding this to you as something to desire? And so when it comes to moving past the problematic behaviors, because I'm just going to keep going back there, because we really need to be applying this wisdom in a way where we are going to create a shift, a change, away from what is limiting towards what is abundance. That's what Oshun is all about. Oshun is all about abundance. And so when it comes to this wisdom of Shango, it's just really important for us to I forgot what I was going to say, so I'm just going to keep on moving. So another energy that has spoken this week is Yemonya. So with Yemonya, we have to remember that we cannot be operating according to our emotions. And so whenever you have Yemonya set and Shango on the scene, oh my gosh, you can have a propensity for being too emotional. But the good thing about the emotions, especially if you operate from your emotions, is they're really showing you what the issue is, where the problem is. When you start feeling that emotional surge, it's an indicator. So use your emotions as an indicator this week, because if you are just operating based on emotion, I was just thinking about this morning, I could never do something based on emotion, even if it's sort of like, it looks like it's positive, but maybe it's a little positive in a warped way. It's just too excited or something. I don't know how to explain it. I always make a mistake. I get in a freaking accident. Something goes wrong. I say something and now somebody's upset, It doesn't matter if it's really emotion. You really have to ask yourself, what is this? Because see, Oshun is asking us to operate from joy within this week. Operate from joy within. Oshun is saying to be creative. Now I like to say, look, get out, do things to, beautify yourself, your environment. But the other thing Oshun is so good at, and Oshun is in you, Oshun is in me, okay? So we're not talking about, there is the great to Oshun. And Oshun, though, is like, look, I done dropped a little bit of myself up in you, which is all powerful. Use it. It's called the imagination. You need to get creative in finding solutions. Get creative in addressing your ego when it is like, oh, we got to stop this one. This one's trying to get up out of this ego way of being. You got to get creative, and perhaps engaging in creative endeavors will help you to begin to shift your energy away from the problematic behavior that you're engaging in, or with whatever this thing is that you have going on, however your ego trips you up. If you start doing things that are creative, then that energy of joy and creativity gets opened up more, so that it starts saying, I don't want to be like that, I don't want to operate like that, okay? But also coming up with creative solutions. I've been here lately, and this is the other thing about Shango. Shango says, be a strategist. So you have to know what to do to address those things that your ego does. You have to be strategic in understanding, how do I stop my ego when it gets going? Because our ego is our default. We just do it, And here lately, I've started noticing, and it's a feeling. That's the thing about Yemonya. It's a feeling on the inside that I have when I know, wait a minute, this is my ego. I'm doing this, and I know this is a problematic behavior, that sabotages me. Get out of here, girl. That's how I talk to myself. Girl, get out of here. We're not doing that right now. And then all of a sudden I feel this positive surge go up within me, you know? So we have to get strategic. We have to get creative in how are we going to reshape our lives. But if we have some clay, and I'm not saying I know a whole lot about shaping with clay, but I do know this. If you start shaping something with clay, you walk away from it for too long, that thing is set. I don't know if people know how to unset clay. I guess as long as you don't bake it, put some more water on it, and then you can, you know, start going again. But in that life, okay, this is the new me. I'm stepping into the new me, and we're working on it. We have the water, we have the clay. We're taking action. And then something happens. And we'll say, okay, I'll be right back from the behaviors that are going to take us where we need to go. And we step away from it. But we may come back soon enough that, oh, I don't have to start over from the beginning. But then we take a break from working and modeling this clay into whatever it is we want it to be, which we're calling it a new way of living. We step away for too long. We come back and it's like, oh, it's hard. This thing is set. And that's how we get set. This thing is set. And then maybe we can start over with some water, but maybe we just have to get some new clay, you know. And so that's what I'm saying. You have to be consistent in what you're doing. Number one, your spiritual practices. And number two, staying on top of, identifying, being aware of what your ego is doing that is creating issues for you in your life, because don't you want to change? And then whatever those steps are that you want to take, that is water working on that clay. If you do not stay on it, it just gets set. And next thing you know, you have this thing that has been shaped in your life, and you're like, oh my gosh, baby, you might have to go get some more clay. Okay, water may not fix it. So I just encourage you to stay on top of it. Have some discipline. But enjoy what you're doing. Have some fun. Go do something that is out of the box for you. And do take good care of yourself. And however that looks. For some of us, because this is Odi, Odi is speaking, which is Yemoya Oshun, Yemoya Aset. And so when you were talking about Yemoya Aset, what we're saying is you have to take care of yourself. And it is okay for you to tell somebody, sorry, I'm not going to take care of you today because I'm busy taking care of me. It's so okay to take care of you. Okay? It's okay to be nice to yourself. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to tell people no. Alright? You do want to avoid, what do you call that? Codependent behaviors. Okay? And look, for those out there, this is probably going to be one of the last things I say before I get out. Don't trick yourself into thinking that you are a nice person when really and truly a lot of times you're doing stuff because you want to add a girl or add a boy. Don't trick yourself into that. Okay? If you want to do something, you should do it, and it shouldn't matter because it's coming from your heart. It's coming from your guidance to do something. And so if you're going to do it, it should not be to get a pat on the back. Because a lot of us do nice things because we're looking for love. Okay? And so this week, give because that is what you're led to do. Don't trick yourself into thinking that, you know, you're just this really nice person. When in perhaps that is your ego's way of keeping you stuck in your stumble. I'm going to take care of everybody else. I'm going to do nice things for everybody else. Hopefully they'll give me love. By the same token, my life is still a wreck. That's so not okay. Okay? I do like what the Oshe Odu says. And it says it's about celebrating beauty over negativity. How can you be beautiful in a negative situation? Okay? Obara says, You want to avoid making serious mistakes. So don't operate from emotion. Really consider, ponder, and think about what you are taking steps to do. Is it really for your highest and greatest good before you do it? Understand you have choices. Maybe it seems like you don't have a lot of choices right now, but you have more than you think. Sorry, this is my son's friend calling on Skype. And then, Yamanya, take good care of yourself and make the decision. Create a seal. You're not going back. You're not going back to that which is no good for you. I am Omilade, your goddess guru. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Please leave comments, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon. Peace and love.